The warning. The quantum alert system blared through the underground command center of Luna Base Alpha, its purple warning lights casting eerie shadows across Admiral Reyna Valdez's face. She studied the holographic display, showing thousands of unknown vessels emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Their crystalline structures pulsed with an otherworldly energy that humanity had only theorized about until now. Analysis confirmed. Admiral, Lieutenant Devon Walsh reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface. The energy signatures match the prophesied Nexus Empire. They're following the exact pattern described in the Titan archives. Reyna's expression remained neutral, but her mind raced through decades of preparation for this moment. The Titan archives, discovered beneath Saturn's largest moon 30 years ago, had warned of this day, when the expansionist Nexus Empire would arrive, demanding Earth's submission. "Initiate Protocol Lazarus," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Throughout the solar system, hidden facilities began powering up. Beneath the rusty sands of Mars, inside the ice caves of Europa, and deep within Venus's acidic clouds, humanity's greatest secret stirred to life. The massive screen showed new contacts appearing across the system. Earth's hidden fleet, carefully constructed and concealed over the past 3 decades. Each vessel incorporated technology reverse-engineered from the Titan archives, combined with humanity's innovative spirit. "Their diplomatic vessel is approaching Earth," Walsh announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." The holographic display shifted, revealing a being that appeared to be made of living crystal. Its voice resonated through the command center, translated in real time. "People of Earth, we are the Nexus Empire. Your primitive civilization has been chosen for absorption into our perfect order. Surrender within 6 hours, or face extinction. Resistance is futile. Your technology cannot hope to match our power." Reyna allowed herself a small smile. The Empire's arrogance was exactly as the archives had predicted. They assumed every civilization they encountered would be defenseless against their technological superiority. They never expected that humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment. "Open a channel to all Phoenix facilities," she ordered. Across the solar system, hidden bases acknowledged her signal. "This is Admiral Valdez. For 30 years we've prepared in secret, building our strength while the Empire remained ignorant of our true capabilities. Today, we show them that humanity doesn't bow to threats." She turned to her tactical officer, Commander Rajpatal. "Deploy the quantum mesh. Let's show them what primitive looks like." Throughout the solar system, thousands of quantum beacons activated, creating an invisible web of manipulated spacetime. The Empire's faster-than-light technology would soon prove useless within Earth's sphere of influence. Their supposed technological superiority was about to become their greatest weakness. "All Phoenix squadrons, report status," Reyna commanded. One by one, fleet commanders confirmed their readiness. Hidden shipyards beneath Mars's polar ice caps, stealth platforms in Venus's atmosphere, and automated defense platforms disguised as asteroid mining operations, all awaited her order. The Empire's ultimatum continued to echo through space, their crystalline ships moving into position around Earth with mathematical precision. They expected submission. They would receive humanity's defiance instead. "Send our response," Reyna ordered. The message was simple. "The people of Earth reject your ultimatum. We do not surrender to threats. Prepare to learn why humanity has survived every extinction-level event in our history." As she spoke, the first phase of humanity's counter-strategy began. Quantum disruptors hidden within Earth's satellite network activated, creating localized areas where the Empire's advanced technology would fail. Their perfect formations would soon become perfect targets. "The Empire's flagship is powering weapons," Walsh reported, his voice tense but controlled. Reyna nodded, watching as the massive crystalline vessel prepared to demonstrate its power. "Let them fire the first shot. It will be their last mistake in the solar system." The time for hiding was over. Humanity would show the galaxy why you should never corner a species that had evolved to overcome every challenge thrown at it. The battle for Earth's freedom was about to begin, and the Nexus Empire was about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating their supposed inferiors. Hidden Arsenal. Dr. Takeshi Yamamoto stood in the heart of the Olympus Mons facility, surrounded by rows of quantum forge arrays that stretched for kilometers through the artificial caverns beneath Mars's largest volcano. The machines hummed with barely contained power as they manufactured weapons that defied conventional physics. "Status report on the final batch of resonance disruptors," he requested, watching as his team monitored the production lines. The quantum forges pulsed with ethereal light, each one crafting weapons designed to exploit the fundamental weaknesses in the Empire's crystalline technology. "Production at 98% efficiency," Dr. Nadia Santos responded, her holographic form flickering slightly as it projected from Earth. "The latest designs incorporate the breakthroughs from Project Prometheus. These aren't just weapons anymore, Takeshi. They're reality shapers." The quantum displays showed real-time analysis of the Empire's fleet as it maintained its threatening position around Earth. Their crystalline ships were marvels of engineering, but they relied on predictable patterns of quantum resonance. It was their greatest strength and their critical weakness. "Admiral Valdez needs confirmation," Nadia continued. "Will the quantum mesh hold against their primary weapons?" Takeshi moved to the central testing chamber, where a captured piece of Empire technology floated in a containment field. They had recovered it from a scout ship that crashed in the Kuiper Belt decades ago. "Show me the latest simulation results." The AI system projected a complex web of mathematical formulas and quantum probability curves. The Empire's weapons relied on harmony, perfect mathematical precision that allowed them to manipulate matter and energy. Humanity's response was to introduce chaos into their equations. "The resonance disruptors don't just block their weapons," he explained, pointing to key data points in the projection. "They create cascading failures in their entire power distribution network. When their ships fire on us, they'll be triggering their own destruction." Deep beneath the Martian surface, automated assembly lines continued producing humanity's secret arsenal. Each weapon incorporated principles discovered in the Titan archives, but evolved far beyond the original designs. Where the Empire sought perfection through rigid order, humanity had embraced adaptation and controlled chaos. "We're receiving new data from the forward scouts," Nadia announced. "The Empire is deploying their second wave. Their ships, they're arranging themselves in a perfect geometric pattern." Takeshi smiled. "Just as the archives predicted. They haven't changed their tactics in 10,000 years. Why would they? No one has ever survived long enough to exploit their weaknesses." He moved to the Quantum Forge Control Center, where his team monitored the final phase of weapon production. "Begin distributing the resonance disruptors to all Phoenix squadrons. Priority to Commander Singh's stealth flotilla." The Empire's ultimatum would expire in 3 hours. They expected to find a primitive civilization cowering before their power. Instead, they would face an enemy that had spent decades preparing specifically to counter their every advantage. "Dr. Santos, please inform Admiral Valdez that the arsenal is ready," Takeshi said, watching as automated transport ships began moving through the hidden tunnel network beneath Mars. "And tell her that the Empire's greatest mistake was giving us time to prepare." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden capabilities were about to be revealed. The quantum forges had done their work, creating weapons that could unravel the very foundations of Imperial technology. Their perfect crystalline ships were about to learn that imperfection could be a source of strength. New contact. Nadia's hologram flickered with urgency. "The Empire's hierarch vessel is powering up some kind of massive energy matrix." Takeshi quickly analyzed the readings. The Empire was preparing to demonstrate their power, probably by destroying a small target. A warning to encourage Earth's surrender. They had no idea they were about to trigger a trap 30 years in the making. "Let them come," he said quietly, watching as the quantum forges completed their final production cycle. Humanity's hidden arsenal is ready. It's time to show the galaxy that some fires shouldn't be stirred. The Empire had demanded Earth's surrender, expecting submission to their superior technology. Instead, they would face weapons born from the marriage of alien science and human innovation. Tools designed to prove that perfection could be defeated by adaptation, that order could be undone by controlled chaos. The hidden arsenal of humanity was complete. The next phase of the battle was about to begin. Counterstrike. Commander Zara Singh watched from the bridge of the UEA's Shadow Strike as her stealth fleet maintained position within the rings of Saturn. The ice and debris provided perfect cover for the quantum-masked vessels. Her crews waited in absolute silence, every system running in passive mode as the Empire's patrol ships passed overhead, their sensors sweeping uselessly through the camouflaged human fleet. Quantum mesh is fully deployed. Lieutenant J. Sun Park whispered from his tactical station, though the sound dampening would have prevented any noise from reaching the enemy anyway. All ships report weapon systems hot. Resonance disruptors are synchronized. The massive display showed the Empire's fleet continuing their methodical deployment around Earth. Their crystalline ships arranged themselves in complex geometric patterns, each vessel positioned with mathematical precision. They were beautiful in their own way, and completely predictable. Time to ultimatum expiration, Zara asked, her fingers ghosting over the neural interface that connected her to the Shadow Strike's quantum core. 17 minutes, Commander, Park responded. The Empire's Hierarch vessel is charging what appears to be a demonstration weapon. They're targeting Luna Base Alpha. Zara allowed herself a grim smile. The Empire had no idea that the base was merely a decoy, its apparent vulnerability a carefully crafted lure. All ships initiate quantum sync. Prepare for Phase 1 of Operation Thunderbolt. Throughout Saturn's rings, 200 of Earth's most advanced warships powered up their primary systems. Each vessel incorporated technology that would have seemed like magic just 30 years ago. Quantum resonance engines, reality warping shields, and weapons designed to exploit the fundamental weaknesses in Imperial technology. The Empire is broadcasting again, Park announced. The bridge speakers carried the translated message. Your time grows short, primitives. Witness now a demonstration of the faith that awaits those who defy the perfect order. Perfect order, Zara murmured. That's their weakness. They've forgotten how to adapt. She opened a channel to her fleet. All ships, execute jump coordinates. Remember your training. Hit hard, hit fast, and never move the way they expect. The Shadow Strike's quantum drive engaged, followed by the rest of the fleet. They didn't move through space in the conventional sense. Instead, they exploited microscopic imperfections in reality itself, appearing inside the Empire's formation like ghosts materializing from nothing. All ships, weapons free, Zara commanded. Deploy resonance disruptors. The Empire's perfect formation became their perfect trap. Human vessels, designed with deliberate asymmetry that confused Imperial targeting systems, unleashed weapons that turned the enemy's mathematical precision against them. Resonance disruptors created cascading waves of quantum interference, disrupting the delicate crystalline structures of Imperial ships. Multiple confirmed hits, Park reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Their shields are failing. The resonance patterns are spreading through their formation, exactly as Dr. Yamamoto predicted. The Empire's response was predictably rigid. Their ships attempted to maintain their geometric patterns even as Earth vessels danced between their firing solutions. Weapons designed to obliterate conventional targets passed harmlessly through quantum-shifted human ships. Second wave, execute flanking maneuver Epsilon. Zara ordered. More human vessels emerged from hiding, attacking from vectors the Empire's tactical doctrine didn't even recognize as possible. Deploy quantum mines. Thousands of small devices scattered throughout the Imperial formation. They didn't register as weapons to enemy sensors. They barely registered as anything at all. Until they activated. Space itself seemed to twist as the quantum mines detonated, creating localized areas where physics mispaved. Imperial ships, dependent on perfect mathematical harmony, found their systems failing as reality itself refused to conform to their calculations. "The Empire's flagship is changing formation," Park announced. They're breaking pattern. "They're learning," Zora noted with grudging respect. But too late. "All ships, execute Phase 2. Show them why humanity survived every extinction event in our history." The Shadow Strike led the charge, its quantum-enhanced weapons tearing through the Empire's suddenly vulnerable defenses. Throughout the solar system, more human vessels emerged from hiding, striking at carefully planned weak points in the enemy's formation. "Imperial vessels are attempting emergency quantum jumps," Park reported. "Quantum mesh is holding. They're trapped in normal space." Zara watched as the Empire's perfect geometric formations dissolved into chaos. Their ships, designed for mathematical precision, struggled to adapt to the unpredictable nature of human combat tactics. "The Hierarch vessel is broadcasting again," Park announced. "Impossible." The translated message boomed. "You cannot possess this level of technology. Your species was monitored. You were primitive. Send our response," Zora commanded. "Tell them, you monitored what we wanted you to see. Welcome to humanity's real space age." The battle for Earth continued, but the tide had turned. The Empire's greatest strength, their rigid adherence to perfect patterns, had become their critical weakness against an enemy that embraced chaos and adaptation as tools of warfare. Humanity's counterstrike had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The turning point. Captain Marcus Okonjo stood at the tactical station of the UES Hyperion, his hands hovering over the quantum interface as he watched the Imperial reinforcements arrive. The asteroid belt provided perfect cover for his fleet, each ship nestled within the natural caverns and craters of the floating rocks. Years of supposed mining operations had actually been careful preparation for this moment. Imperial quantum signatures detected, Lieutenant Rita Novik reported from her sensor station. "They're attempting to stabilize their jump corridors despite the quantum mesh interference." Counting. 300 capital ships emerging. Marcus studied the tactical display, noting how the Imperial vessels struggled to maintain their usual geometric formation patterns in the cluttered space of the asteroid belt. Their rigid tactics, so effective in open space, became a liability among the tumbling rocks and unpredictable gravitational fields. "Status of the gravitic web?" he asked, watching as more Imperial ships pushed through the disrupted space. "Gravitational manipulators are at full power," Rita responded. "The entire sector is primed. They have no idea they're flying into a giant web." For decades, humanity had seeded the asteroid belt with seemingly innocent mining equipment. Each device contained advanced gravitational technology, capable of turning the natural chaos of the asteroid field into a controlled weapon. The Empire's reinforcements were about to learn why underestimating humanity had been their greatest mistake. "All ships, prepare for Operation Avalanche," Marcus commanded through the quantum-encrypted network. "Remember your training. Let them think they're hunting us, right until the trap closes." The Imperial fleet pushed deeper into the asteroid belt, their sensors searching for the human vessels that had devastated their main force. Their crystalline ships gleamed in the distant sunlight, each one a marvel of engineering that had helped them conquer 1,000 worlds. But they had never faced an enemy who had spent decades preparing specifically for them. "They're approaching the primary trigger zone," Rita announced. "Their formation is fragmenting as they navigate the debris field." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "Execute primary sequence. Let's show them why you don't corner a species that evolved to overcome every obstacle." Throughout the asteroid belt, hundreds of gravitational manipulators activated simultaneously. The seemingly random movements of the asteroids suddenly became coordinated, like 1,000 missiles guided by an invisible hand. The Imperial ships, their tactical doctrine unprepared for such an unconventional attack, found themselves caught in a deadly dance of rock and gravity. "Multiple impacts detected," Rita's voice carried a note of fierce satisfaction. Their shields are failing against kinetic strikes. They never expected us to weaponize an entire asteroid field. Launch Phase 2, Marcus ordered. Deploy the quantum swarms. From hidden bays throughout the asteroid belt, thousands of autonomous drones emerged. Each one carried a miniaturized version of humanity's quantum disruption technology. They moved like insects, their patterns based on Earth's most successful predator species, Imperial point defense systems, designed to target predictable weapon trajectories, struggled to track the erratically moving swarms. Their flagship is attempting to coordinate a counterattack, Rita reported. They're trying to adapt their formations to the confined space. Too late, Marcus replied. Activate the resonance cascade. The gravitational manipulators shifted to a new frequency, one that harmonized with the quantum disruption fields generated by the drone swarms. The combined effect created a cascading wave of spatial distortions that played havoc with the Empire's crystalline technology. Ships that relied on perfect mathematical harmony found themselves in an environment where the laws of physics seemed to fluctuate randomly. Imperial vessels are showing critical system failures across their fleet, Rita announced. Their communication network is collapsing. They're losing formation coherence. Marcus watched as the Empire's reinforcement fleet began to break apart. Some ships attempted to retreat, only to find their quantum drive systems unable to function in the disrupted space. Others tried to maintain their combat patterns, becoming easy targets for the human vessels hidden among the asteroids. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta, he commanded. The Hyperion emerged from its hiding place, leading a coordinated strike against the now vulnerable Imperial vessels. Human ships, designed to operate in chaotic conditions, darted between the tumbling asteroids with practiced ease. The Imperial flagship is broadcasting, Rita reported. They're requesting terms. Marcus paused, his hand hovering over the tactical controls. Put it through. The translated message filled the bridge. You have violated all known patterns of technological advancement. This defies the natural order. What are you? Send our response, Marcus ordered. Tell them, we are humanity. We don't follow patterns. We break them. We don't accept limits. We overcome them. Remember this lesson, because the galaxy is about to change. The battle for the asteroid belt marked a turning point in the war. The Empire's reinforcements, meant to crush Earth's resistance, instead became a demonstration of humanity's ability to turn apparent weaknesses into strengths. The perfect order of the Empire had been undone by the controlled chaos of human innovation. As the remaining Imperial ships surrendered, Marcus opened a channel to Admiral Valdez. Asteroid belt sector secured. The Empire's reinforcements are neutralized. He paused, looking at the tactical display showing the devastation their trap had caused. I think they're finally beginning to understand what they've awakened. Victory's price. The quantum display aboard the UES Phoenix cast an ethereal glow across Admiral Reina Valdez's face as she watched the Imperial Grand Fleet emerge from hyperspace near Jupiter. The massive crystalline vessels, each one larger than any previous Imperial ship they'd encountered, formed a perfect geometric pattern that turned space itself into a shimmering lattice of power. 5,000 vessels detected, Lieutenant Walsh reported, his voice steady despite the overwhelming numbers. The Grand Hierarch's personal fleet. They'd brought enough firepower to crack a planet. They still think this is about brute force, Reina observed, watching as the Imperial Armada approached. They haven't learned anything from their defeats. The Quantum Communications Network carried reports from across the solar system. Commander Singh's stealth fleet maintained position within Jupiter's storms. Captain Okanjo's forces waited among the asteroids. Dr. Yamamoto's quantum forges on Mars continued producing weapons that defied conventional physics. Humanity's last line of defense was ready. The Grand Hierarch is broadcasting, Walsh announced. System-wide transmission. The being that appeared on the display was unlike any Imperial representative they'd seen before. Its crystalline form pulsed with internal light that shifted through colors humans had no names for. When it spoke, the translation carried overtones of genuine bewilderment beneath the usual imperial arrogance. "Your resistance defies all logical analysis," the Grand Hierarch declared. 10,000 years of imperial expansion, and never have we encountered a species that dared to reject our perfect order. Your punishment must serve as an example to all who would follow your path of chaos. Reyna smiled. "Send our response. Your perfect order has become perfect stagnation. Today you learn why chaos breeds strength." She turned to her tactical officer. "Execute final protocol. Show them everything." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden weapons platforms emerged from their camouflage. Quantum generators that had masqueraded as simple communications satellites revealed their true nature. The very fabric of space-time began to shift as 30 years of preparation came to fruition. "Quantum mesh fully deployed," Walsh reported. "The Empire's fleet is trapped in normal space." The Grand Hierarch's response was immediate and devastating. Thousands of crystalline ships opened fire simultaneously, their energy weapons turning space itself into a geometric pattern of destruction. But humanity had prepared for this moment. "Activate the resonance field," Reyna commanded. Dr. Yamamoto's greatest creation came online. The quantum mesh didn't just trap the Imperial fleet, it turned their own power against them. Each shot they fired strengthened the field, creating a cascading effect that threatened to tear their perfect crystalline ships apart. "Multiple Imperial vessels showing critical structural failures," Walsh announced. "Their battle formation is destabilizing." The Grand Hierarch's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Impossible. You cannot possess this level of technology. We monitored your development for centuries." "You monitored what we wanted you to see," Reyna responded. "While you watched our public space program, we were studying your crashed ships. While you measured our official technology level, we were reverse engineering your weapons. Your greatest mistake was giving us time to prepare." She opened a channel to all Earth forces. "All ships, execute final attack pattern. Show them why humanity has survived every extinction-level event in our history." From hiding places throughout the solar system, Earth's combined fleet emerged. Ships that blended human innovation with reversed engineered alien technology struck from impossible angles. Quantum weapons turned the Empire's mathematical precision into a fatal weakness. The perfect order they relied upon became chaos in the face of humanity's controlled disorder. "The Imperial formation is breaking completely," Walsh reported. They're trying to adapt. But their tactical doctrine can't handle our attack patterns." The Grand Hierarch's flagship, a massive crystalline structure that dwarfed all other vessels, attempted to coordinate a defense. But their rigid hierarchy, so effective at controlling their vast empire, proved too inflexible for the rapidly changing battle. "Their command structure is collapsing," Walsh announced. "Secondary vessels are acting independently. They've lost coordinated control." Reyna watched as the Empire's perfect formation dissolved into individual ships fighting for survival. They've spent so long relying on perfect order that they've forgotten how to adapt. "Send to all Imperial vessels. Surrender now and learn from this lesson. Fight on and be destroyed by it." The battle that followed would be studied by military historians for centuries to come. The Empire's overwhelming numerical superiority proved meaningless against an enemy that turned chaos itself into a weapon. Their perfect technological harmony shattered against humanity's calculated disorder. Hours later, as the Grand Hierarch's flagship transmitted its surrender, Reyna stood on the Phoenix's observation deck. The debris of battle filled the space around Jupiter, crystalline fragments glittering like stars among the gas giant's storms. "Send to all Earth forces," she commanded. "The war is over. Humanity has earned its place among the stars not through submission to order, but by proving that adaptation and innovation will always overcome stagnation." The Empire's attempt to subjugate Earth had failed, but they had succeeded in one thing. They had forced humanity to advance centuries beyond what anyone thought possible. The galaxy would never be the same, and the species they had dismissed as primitive had proven that true strength comes not from perfect order, but from the ability to embrace and control chaos itself. As the surviving Imperial ships began their long retreat, Reyna opened a final channel to the Grand Hierarch. Remember this day, not as a defeat, but as a lesson. The universe is not meant for perfect order. It thrives on adaptation, on change, on the very chaos you sought to suppress. Perhaps now, both our species can learn from each other. The response came after a long pause. Perhaps there is wisdom in imperfection after all. Humanity had won more than a war. They had shattered 10,000 years of imperial doctrine and proved that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in maintaining perfect order, but in having the courage to break it.